Firefighting in Canada this week is brought to you by VFIS of Canada, a division of CVIS Incorporated, Canada's largest insurer of firefighters. This week, we'll provide an update on how the pandemic is affecting the Canadian Fire Service, and we'll highlight mental health tips for first responders. Changes continue as the pandemic evolves across Canada. On April 6, Ontario enacted an emergency order to allow firefighters, police, and paramedics to obtain COVID-19 positive status information regarding individuals they come in contact with while on duty. PPE shortages remain a concern for essential workers, and communities have begun working to help supply needed products. On April 8th, Marineland, an aquatic amusement park, secured 22,000 masks for Niagara Falls first responders. In Thunder Bay, Ontario, firefighters began using industrial-grade face shields supplied by a local school and industrial suppliers. Thunder Bay Deputy Chief David Paxton told CBC they would use these resources until PPE stock becomes available. On Tuesday, Fire Rain announced they would be producing hand sanitizers for first responders in 3 Ontario counties. Winnipeg's firefighters and paramedics will be using reusable respirator masks while on duty instead of disposable ones. The City of Winnipeg said the department switched from N95 respirator masks to MSA Advantage 200 SL respirator masks, which are often used at fire scenes or for hazardous material incidents. 3 Windsor, Ontario firefighters are the latest to test positive for the virus. In British Columbia, doctors and first responders are urging people to refrain from taking unnecessary risks and attempt to limit the number of preventable injuries and maximize the number of readily available hospital beds. In Toronto, Fire Chief Matthew Pegg reported a 17% increase in fires in the city. He said the leading cause of this increase in call volume was unattended cooking and careless smoking. Alberta is preparing for wildfires during the COVID-19 crisis. The province announced Tuesday that 200 more firefighters will be hired. Last year, 71% of fires were caused by humans, so the government instated a fire ban for provincial land, parks, and protected areas. For all industry news about how the fire service is responding to the pandemic, visit firefightingincanada.com. First responders are at a heightened risk for mental health struggles, and the COVID-19 crisis only amplifies this. Nick Halmasy is a registered psychotherapist and former firefighter. He is also the founder of AfterTheCall.org, an organization with the goal of providing accurate, research-based mental health support to first responders. Halmasy provided 5 tips frontline workers can use to take care of their mental well-being during this time of crisis. First, be sure to check in with yourself and your teammates. Identify and acknowledge any stress responses and move to navigate those effectively before they turn into more serious mental health issues. Second, maintain a care plan. Eat well, stay active, and connect with loved ones. Routines can also be an important and effective way to cope. Thirdly, try to stay connected. Though self-isolation outside of work is recommended, staying connected virtually is a good compromise for face-to-face interactions. Also, expect stress. Responding to calls means being at a heightened risk of being exposed to COVID-19. Halmasy suggests taking breaks and maintaining awareness of the mental health risks likely to occur as a result of these added stressors. Lastly, Halmasy says to be proactive. Don't wait until things are really bad to seek help or support. He said the earlier mental health issues are addressed, the easier they are to work through. Halmasy also joined Firefighting in Canada on a recent podcast where he talked about normal biological stress responses.
I think it's always better to prevent the problems than react to them. It certainly costs less in the long run to do that, both for the individual but also for the organization. The difficulty being, though, is how to prevent and what does prevention mean? If we're talking about prevention, do we mean absolute prevention, or do we mean we're doing the best we can with what we've got in order to try to pad against any potential issues? I think the biggest mistake, too, that we make is thinking that the job is the main kind of thing. And I say, well, if it's the straw that breaks the camel's back, we got to wonder what else is piling up on that camel before that straw came, right? And so talking about the whole person and their home life and all of those pieces is really important.
To listen to the full podcast, visit firefightingincanada.com and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. While you're there, you can also listen to our December podcast about mental health with Fire Chief Matthew Pegg. Thanks again to VFIS of Canada, a division of CVIS Incorporated, Canada's largest insurer of firefighters. Stay tuned for our next episode on Friday, April 24th.